What's crazy is that I was at the company prior, I don't know the name of, but I was at a company prior where we consistently talked about the strategy of the videos and what we're going to do and where we're going to shoot them and who's going to be the videographer and what the background is being, what the topic is going to be. I'll tell you that 7 or so months later, it still hasn't started, right? Because you're just overanalyzing it, just like with a CRM or just like with what my open house marketing plan is going to be. I know that sounds so simple, but that's and I know that maybe when you came to this class you thought, oh, we're going to go into actual editing apps. But first and foremost, we have to have the videos and we have to have the content. And this is beautiful. So what I wanted to talk about was that 90% of social content will be in the form of video by 2019. So would you rather be riding in the Tesla with that notion, or would you rather be in a Flintstone car really catching up to it? Do you want to be left behind? You know, I mean, the Flintstones are pretty great, I have to say. But in this space where everything does move so fast and everything changes so often, I know that it's overwhelming. But if you just start to do it, I kid you not, you're going to find yourself in there enjoying it and finding that people are also enjoying watching you. And if they don't, then forget it. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, I mean, you got to be careful because a lot of times people are watching and they don't like or they don't comment.
Totally.
But then they see you and they're just like, hey, yeah, I saw your video, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like...
And that's a huge piece in which I want to talk about today because, again, I am doing this all not as... I never like to call myself an expert. I don't. I'm doing this alongside you, right? I'm starting this pretty much just a couple months prior to you all. And I'll tell you that the more that you place yourself out in the marketplace, the more that you put your opinion out there, whether it's about what coffee you like or what egg sandwich you prefer or what homes you like most on the home tour, you are always going to have people who criticize you. You always will. But that's A-okay. Because guess what? I'll tell you that about 90% of the people who are criticizing, not even 90, my goodness, 98% of the people who are criticizing you aren't even doing the videos themselves. So on what ground do they stand when they're criticizing the way that your hair looks or the way that, or what you're saying or what you're talking about?
Haters need houses too.
Yes. Yeah. Everyone needs a house. Everyone needs a house. So what this is covering, this is great, right? I'm human, I make mistakes, it's fine. So 92% of mobile viewers share videos with others, both digitally and through word of mouth. How often are you looking at a video on YouTube or something, or on the news and it's a funny clip of a little girl who's talking about doing yoga? I think you guys maybe know what videos I'm talking about. How often are you like, oh my goodness, how funny is this? Or oh my gosh, look at what she's doing here. I will tell I will tell you that that is really it. You don't, so often, and this is something in which I'm also guilty of, is that I always would think, okay, am I monetizing these videos? What's the return on the investment? Well, how much am I spending? How much time am I using, right? But you don't really need to think of that. Because if we still lived in a day and age where we wanted to capture the entire freeway and every single billboard down the freeway, if you wanted to build your brand that way and that was the primary source of marketing, if you could, would you buy every billboard? Is that obnoxious?
No.
Is that obnoxious? Right? A little bit? Well, what is Coke doing or what's Pepsi doing? Are they everywhere? Are they still, I mean, are they in multiple forms of marketing? Are they utilizing that? Could you imagine yourself being that large of a brand? Because if you don't, then I suggest that you do. Because it's all about where you think your business is going. Because if you are already considering limitations now, why? Why? No? I see some frowns. I don't think that you should. I know that sounds, again, very just idealistic of me, but I'm here to encourage you to do these videos because it's going to make that much more of a presence for yourself and your brand. Because at the end of the day, there are this is a saturated market, peeps, right? How many new licensees? Does anyone know the exact number? I don't know the exact number, but in the state of Arizona, every single month, 1,400 new licensees. And whether they're new or looked at as mindless or not, that is another person to add that may or may not take away from your market share. So where we all are, whether that's in between what we DVR and we're looking down at our phones, or we're in the car, which I know we shouldn't be on the phone when we're in the car, or when we're in a restaurant waiting to be sat. Yes, of course, we're conversing, but a lot of times we're on our phones, and that's actually a statistic I have here, is a total of, at this point, 5 years and 4 months of our life is spent on social media. That is not industry specific. That is just a generality, right? And as we're here today, as you all are agents, as myself in title and lending, in title, or also, of course, then LOs, it's going to be that much higher, right? And so versus 3 years and 5 months spent eating and drinking, I think I spend quite a bit of time eating and drinking, right? But let's think about that. Why is it important then to be in video on social media, right? Let's break it down very, very easily. One, we're all on social media. More than half of the entire population of this planet is on social media, right? And then when you get to Facebook, as we talk about algorithms, the way to beat it, two things: authenticity and engagement. That's it. Because I'll tell you that so often we think of our ads, which I am not at all downplaying the value of Facebook ads or Instagram ads or sponsored posts. But I'll say that Facebook and why they're changing it so much, why Mark Zuckerberg is changing it so much, is because it is about the connections. It is. There is a place there for businesses, right? But the best part about Facebook is that you're there to connect. And so what's amazing is that as you put the video up, and like I made you watch, some of those videos, Colby, we didn't know one another. I think I know you said you saw the photo or whatnot prior to, but I would say that with Mark, with Anthony, with quite a bit of agents as well, the one comment that I always get is, I know you. I feel like I know you. How crazy is that? How amazing would that sound from your farm? And they're like, oh my gosh, I know you. And that's just the first step to connecting with them, right? None of this is going to be overnight. It's not going to be something in which you're going to see as far as you monetizing this form of marketing. It's going to be gradual, but as you continue to push out content, as you consistently have your face in front of everyone else who's within your database, and that's all depending on comfort level. I'll tell you that about a month.
It can't be dependent on the comfort level. You just have to do it.
Yeah, I meant the frequency.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, go ahead, Miranda.
Well, people say, I don't like the way I look on video. Well, guess what? It's the way you look.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
I don't like the way I sound on video. Guess what? It's the way you sound.
Yeah.
Do it.
Exactly.
Just do it.
Exactly. And it's like, if you're, I know that again, it is scary when it's screen to screen, but guess what that does? Is it creates face-to-face and real-time visualization for your consumer, for your database, for your sphere, for your farm.
Question.
Yeah.
Which database should I connect to Instagram? I have my phone address book. I have my, let's say, Facebook certain database. I have on my CRM database, which is completely different than probably from a spreadsheet I'm using. How to connect to? What's the best way to connect? Which database to use?
You mean like who are you to add?
No,
on?
it's Instagram. Let's
yeah.
Or videos, not Instagram. Let's stop videos. I had let's say my contacts in 2 or 3, even 4 places. They are not always identical. Some of them overlap, but not all of them.
Okay.
How should I use the video to connect to everybody in this case?
There are actually incredible ways to do that. When it comes to your database, does your CRM allow for video marketing to be
I
sent
think
out?
so. I haven't checked
If
it,
not, then
but
we can look further
should
into
be.
it too. We can sit down and take a look at that. I would love
Okay.
to. I would say that when it comes to your database, I think that there are a lot of questions in which really are posed in that set of questions that you just had, because when you do have a specific database or you do have a specific audience on Instagram, you do have a specific audience on Facebook, right? But is everyone that's in your CRM added to both of those? If not, then you should.
No, they're different with some overlappings.
Yeah.
I know Lion Desk does have
Yeah.
options to do videos out
No,
of.
no,
Yeah.
definitely. But should I place the same video? Should it through my phone and put it to my address book, then put it on a Facebook, same video, or it's somehow how to sync the video here?
Oh, like how? Oh, okay. You mean like you want to know if you should place them or how to place them on every single in different formats.
Should I put it everywhere, or Google will take care of it, or somebody else? Let's say.
There are definitely apps in which will help you with that, like Buffer or Planopoly, or there are a couple of different apps that will do that. But I'll say that when it comes to different videos, you just have to mimic and know your audience. Because I'll tell you that there are some videos in which I'll post on my stories as opposed to posting on someone's feed. Because I don't think it's necessarily that, not to say it's that valuable, but it's just a different space. And I think that, again, the best way to start is just start doing it. Because what works for everyone else is so different. I know that that's such a general answer, right? But, you know, even when we were talking about puppies and kids, right? Like, anyone who posts about their children, they're seeing a lot more engagement on their Facebook posts, but that may or may not be something in which they're comfortable posting a video about in their stories.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you just have to begin to see exactly what works for you. But overall, what we're striving for, again, are those two things, are authenticity and engagement. So I just put a couple of different industry and marketing professionals up here. And funny enough, as I was writing this out, one, there are a plethora of quotes that I have from each of them up here and written down. And I can share them with you and email them to you if you'd like, or just specific videos in which truly are incredible that go into this topic a lot further. As I look at this, I notice, so who knows who Tom Ferry is, right? Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, Brian Fanzo. So,
Colin knew me.
that's okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Crazy, right? As I look at this, I thought, how many of these guys are millennials that are doing videos? And that are that think, really, I would say that their main form of marketing are podcasts for Gary, right? Along with Brian, and then also Grant Cardone has them, but they all put out a ton of videos. How do we know them? Have we met them in person? I haven't. Actually, I didn't meet Brian. I feel like I've met them in person. That's it. That's the concept. Is that they're putting out their information. I would say that almost all of them, they're going to have a ton of critics. There are a ton of people who disagree with them, right? Like, I thought you were going to say.
Well, I was just going to say, so they all have all of their videos on a YouTube channel. So people that want to go consume all their videos, there's a place they have it.
Mm-hmm.
But in social media,
Mm-hmm.
it's social. So you'll see them put an occasional video. They put other stuff in
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
They mix it up.
That's
so you
exactly
can't
it.
be all business in social media or you're dead.
That's what I was just going to say, is in that, when you're asking, right, like, what do I post? I will say that the percentages are going to be very different for a lot of people. Some people will post 50% business and 50% personal. Some will post 90 and 10. I will say that for myself, it's really interesting. I think I posted actually a lot more about work on Facebook, right? But then through the stories, that is actually, if you go to, if you listen to it, I can again send this, I have your contact information, and before you head out, go ahead and sign in. I'm going to send you a couple of podcasts. Brian Fanzo actually had, I'll go into, actually, let's just backtrack. Brian Fanzo is the only millennial on this board, right? He was the keynote speaker for the Digital Summit, which was held here in Phoenix just recently.
Yes.
There was one real estate involved company that was there. But you know what's crazy? Is that all the information that he puts out is not restricted to one industry. And it is absolutely applicable to ours. Because it's talking about just getting your word out there. What's happening, who's doing it, what the ins and outs are, what the benefits are. And so, as Brian actually, when he talked about stories, this was in his last podcast on Tuesday, when he talked about the stories, he said, you know what, when people look at my Instagram, they'll see, again, photos of where I am or what I'm doing, or maybe just a general overview of my life. But when they go further into my stories, and there are those videos there, it's a deeper connection. It's, oh, okay, he goes to that restaurant, but then he likes this. And so, again, there's beauty in that. I think that in order to really feel it and to know it is to do it. I know we've been talking about that together. So, all of these gentlemen, again, yes, they have their YouTubes, but I would say that actually, when you, who I'm sure a couple of us here know that, is that when, say, you have a video that's made and produced, or you're editing it on your phone, what have you, when you're putting that onto YouTube and then sharing it onto Facebook,
Don't
that's
share.
actually, yeah, exactly. Don't share. You guys know that already.
Upload it directly to
Yeah.
Facebook.
Or just do it live. They're fun. They're wild because, again, you don't have time to edit them, but that, again, is beneficial to you because you can spend that much more time on the field, out there, and not editing your videos. You want to be out there with your people, right? So press live, do market stats. I have actually several, and this is absolutely not, again, a complete list of videos that you can do as an agent, but you can do events and Facebook Lives for a specific event that's going on. Right, or a specific class. We can do it for the next class. Actually, there are actually a couple of classes that I have that are going to be part of this series. So right now, again, what I'm talking about is just the overall power of it and the influence that it causes. Your open house. Who's hosting open houses right now? How is the foot traffic? Good. And again, if you need more resources, really that's what Lawyer's Title is here for. We have plenty of it. In order to get more contact information for that specific neighborhood, how to get it out there, when to get it out. And I have to say that just like with your videos, it's all about a specific plan, right? And I would say that when it comes to open houses, it's a little bit more of a strategy. So, are you doing videos for your open houses at all?
No, I haven't started with the videos, although I advertise on Facebook with pictures, not videos.
Yeah, yeah. And are you seeing that there's a lot of engagement when it
Yes.
comes to those photos? Good. And so since there's already...
But you have to know where to put it, where to advertise. There are groups, there are...
Yeah. And you don't want to flood, all of us here as we go through our Facebooks. How many homes are you seeing on your feeds?
Because I have
Right?
900 realtors.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which is a good thing. I still love the fact there are some say new agents who will always say like, oh, should I have other agents on my Facebook page or my Instagram? Absolutely. It's all about community. It's all about camaraderie, which of course is exemplified here at my home group. So when it comes to that, I would say that even when it comes to an open house, a week prior, right, announce the open house. A couple days prior, feature some parts of the home. Don't give everything away, because of course if you did that, then you would...
come to the open house.
Yeah, that, or, yeah, exactly. And so when you're featuring a couple parts of the home in which you love and that are your favorite parts, right, what that does is it gives them a little bit more insight. And sure, that may then deter some of the viewers from actually going to the open house, but what that does is it creates that much more true interest in the home in which they're viewing, right? So when you're doing that, you can then, of course, feature interior features when it comes to the home. And I would say a couple days prior, and you just have to try it. And here's the...
But I like the idea of just doing a feature, because some people do a whole walkthrough,
Yeah.
and then they don't have to come to the open house.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean,
Look
let's
at
think...
this great kitchen, that's enough.
Yeah.
Don't show anything else.
And
right?
let's think about it. Let's think about who has watched HGTV? Why don't you create a show of sorts, let's just think about it this way, where you're the star of that show when it comes to that home or that neighborhood. No? Is that scary? Is it? And then also what I love, and I said this in actually my Facebook Live a few nights ago, was that you can then feature schools in the area, walk scores, your favorite coffee shops, your favorite restaurants. Because what that does is it puts you in front of not only those who are already looking at that restaurant as they are customers and guests, but it's also putting you in front of the business owners, right? That's a huge Tom Ferry piece, is that you're now then connected with possibly the Chamber of Commerce, right? And then who are those business owners and who can they put you in front of? And just it's the same thing that you want on the social space than you want in person, is true engagement and personal relationships. Because we work in a relationship-based industry where, oddly enough, as polished as we all want to seem, I'm guilty of it, we all are. The best part, actually I have it on the next slide. Oop. I'm like, it'll pull up.
Thinks it's working.
Oh, that's so funny! I'm like,
It's a little laggy.
right? Thanks for laughing with you guys. Thank you so much for we only have a few minutes, Kelly had just notified me. But this is my first time really teaching. And just like with anything, just like even with video, there's a first time for everything. There really is. And so as we talk about businesses in this industry and having it be relationship based, when we talk about the mistakes we make or stuttering or what we put out there, I believe this. Sustainable businesses are built on the operating principle of trust. And as we come to be more ourselves and as we humanize our brand that much more, I truly do believe that it'll cause that much more engagement, generate that many more leads, and create that much more of a referral-based business, which I think that as agents, we want eventually. Or maybe today. You can start with the video now.
Everybody go to a video.
And if not, actually what I've loved, and it's so funny because I can just, I can go on all day, oh, you should do a video. I love doing them with agents. I love doing them for agents. I'll just go to the open house and just do it without even asking. And I actually initially when I first had done that, I thought, oh no, I'm gonna get, slap on the wrist for this. But I think everyone does, because not only is the seller benefiting from that, but as the agent, as is the neighborhood. Because this is something in which actually at the Sevar 40 under 40, Brian North had said, you really have to think of it as you are bigger than just this job. You are bigger than just being an agent in a saturated market. You are the hub for an entire economy. You are. And as you grow your presence online, where everyone else is, you will then also grow your business, your brand, your awareness, and engagement. That's what it's all about. Yeah, Chris?
So at the very beginning, you may have hit this because I had to step out, so I
That's
apologize.
okay. That's okay.
I know that somebody said earlier, I'm not that interesting, nobody cares about my life, or I don't know what to talk about. Right, so here's the thing, what's the number one source of business for agents? What's your number one source of business, of deals?
Everybody?
On average, referrals or database. More than half of your deals, depending on, it doesn't matter if you're a single agent or a big team, on average, 45 to, I've heard up to 65% of deals come from your database. So those people know you, right? So obviously the person that you are is exactly who you're trying to get out.
Yeah.
You're branding, you're making yourself aware, you're making yourself relatable. Whatever it is that they liked about you before, you want to continue to put in front of them. You have to think about this as a tool to brand and throw yourself in front of people, and not necessarily whether or not you're interesting, because they've already found you interesting at one point.
Yeah.
You're just trying to put yourself out there.
Yep.
One of the biggest things I hear from people getting into videos is, I don't like how I look. Like, I just did a mastermind. I'm on the west side, the place that none of you guys go.
Stop it.
So I do a mastermind once a month out there with agents that do $20, $25 million, whatever. One of the guys, Shane Saunders, my home group agent, does a lot of video. And one of the things he talked about, we did last month, he said the key is consistency. He sets it on his calendar. He does a video every Sunday night, right? Now, he has a team that does it because he does a lot of business. He has people helping him. One thing he never does is he never watches the video back.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be critical of himself. As soon as I watch it, I'm going to change it. I tell my team, don't even show it to me. Once it's done, put it out.
Yeah.
Well, and see, yeah, that's the advantage of having someone else edit it. If
Yeah.
you're really fearful, get someone else to edit it for you.
And how many people have shot a video, or a selfie for that matter, not even a video, and then reshot it 15 times? Guys don't lie, the girls aren't the only ones who do it.
I know the gentlemen do it too.
So I did it 3 times yesterday when I was trying to send a text video.
Yes, Chris.
Here's the thing that Dane, who was working with us, not wife,
He still kind of is.
one of the things though that I like, I take a lot of his quotes. One of my favorite quotes from him is that if you don't like the way you look in video, don't worry, because that's how you look in real life.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Get it out of your head.
Yeah.
Just shoot it and run with it. Right?
Well,
Yeah.
and that's the nice thing about live is that you're live, there's no going back and editing.
Yeah.
And you can download it and share it again, some other way.
To answer some of those questions, it is better to shoot live from your personal page than
Yeah.
your business page. Facebook algorithms
Yes.
will give you more of a reach going from your personal page because they are trying to enforce personal engagement, not business engagement.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're going to go to some of the restaurants that she was talking about, make them give something away.
Yeah.
Right? So to Tom Ferry, the
Yep.
number one guy from Tom Ferry that does that is Kyle Whistle out in San Diego.
Yes.
If you haven't heard of him, look him up.
He's
He has a
incredible.
YouTube channel, San Diego Eats, I think I don't know what it's
Yeah.
called.
East Santee Saturdays,
Santy
a couple
Saturdays.
things, but
One of my agents on the west side is doing Arrowhead Eats now. You go to these places, they'll let you interview them all day for free. Make them give you something. Hey, I'm going to advertise your business. I'm going to put your business in front of 3,000 people here in the area. Can you give me an appetizer coupon or something I can
Yeah.
promote for your business? And the most engagement. The whole idea, the name of the game is engagement. Getting people to interact.
Yep. Or even say say it's a restaurant that you love and you're not, maybe they're not right away willing to give a coupon. Let's just say worst case scenario, buy a $15 gift card and give it away, right? That's still going to get people there, but I think regardless, I think either way, as you're offering value through just the video and the marketing of that business, you're gonna lure them in with, again, something for them to enjoy
And you're better off with businesses that are not franchises.
yeah.
Right.
Don't PF Chang's, they don't need your help.
Yeah.
Locally owned, okay.
And restaurants over other businesses. He's from somebody, I'm stealing straight from Shane, somebody that's done 1,000 videos. He's done barbershops, he's done bars, he's done restaurants, he's done pastry places.
Dry cleaners. Tom Grimo's watching this. He actually brought that up. He said dry cleaners. I'm like, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Local businesses, small businesses, because that's exactly what you all are too. You are the CEO of your own small business. You know, so have that mind share, have the market share all together as you brand yourself and again build your business. And actually, I wanted to say to you before you left, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. When it comes to I was like, well, you talked earlier about how you'll be at a dog park. Talk about that, because we all know that as not just as millennials, but a lot of millennial home buyers are looking for homes that
Because
are
they have a
suitable,
dog, not
that are
because they have a kid
suitable,
now.
that are suitable for their dogs. I'll say that for myself, I don't have children. I'm looking for what's most suitable for my little Cooper guy, right? So go ahead and talk about what dog-friendly restaurants there are in the area, right? What dog parks are near this neighborhood. I think that that's just a great way to already do what you're doing, but do it that much further and better.
Yeah, take it on the road.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Have your dog in it with you. Do you have your dog in it with you?
Oh, well, yeah, I
Love
always
it.
flash them. I usually post a picture of my dog every day.
Love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And I have business cards also, and I have your contact information. I can go ahead and send you, what we have discussed here, and then also